Well, hello there. Welcome back to the art room. I'm really glad you could make it today. We call this picture Halloween Transformers. Say, do you know what your Halloween costume's going to be yet? Are you going to be a superhero? Maybe a famous book character? Or an animal? Or a robot? Or maybe a monster? I think this little guy's thinking about what maybe he wants to be for Halloween this year. With this clever way of folding our paper and then transposing it down in a zigzag fashion, we can make the perfect illusion of what you're going to be for Halloween this year. That's right. You might want to be a princess, or a gymnast, or a professional wrestler, maybe a mad scientist, an astronaut, or how about even a zombie? So, whether you're going to be a pizza chef or an evil genius, stick with us because I think pizza? Man, I'm hungry. What? Wow, too many Mr. Shays in the art room today. But I did kind of come away with some nice pizza there. Hey, welcome back. We are going to be talking about our Halloween Transformer drawings. Before we start, we have to acknowledge the work of a famous artist by the name of Yaacov Agam. Mr. Agam lives in France right now, but I think he was born in Israel. He became famous in the 50s for his what are now called agamographs. And if you go on YouTube and look up that term, agamograph, you will be able to find many, many examples of his work and a lot of other work that he has inspired down through the years. Okay, so for our Halloween Transformer, let me kind of run through a little materials list that we're going to need here. Let me zoom out just a bit. There we go. First of all, normally I don't draw on copying machine paper, but this is going to really work out for us today because we can see through it. So 2 pieces of copying machine paper is what we'll start off with, like that. Put the rest of that aside. Later on, when we're ready to glue down, we'll need 2 pieces of 9 by 12 paper. Regular size construction paper is a little bit bigger than the 8.5 by 11. It's in full 9 by 12, so that'll work right into our plan because we need to glue all of our pieces down to something that's a little bit longer and larger. I'll show you that when we assemble the picture. And then finally at the very end, when we glue our picture down, we're going to need something that's a little bit stiffer to support our zigzag paper that we're gluing in. I'm using some posterboard that I got at the dollar store. And this is, I think, a quarter of the sheet that I used at the dollar store. So, okay, well, this little guy, I had a lot of fun drawing him, and he's, I've also kind of got this thing where I like to put a little sidekick animal or something in, and if you notice, he starts off being a friendly doggy, and then at the end, then he's, you know, when his master is transforming, he's getting, he's transformed too. I'm not sure what he's thinking there. He's looking a little mad or angry, or maybe that's just his costume. Maybe it could be. Alright, so how do we start something like this? Well, let's take our first sheet of copying machine paper. Once again, this is just white 8.5 by 11 paper. Okay, let's get things started then. If we're going to transform, we need to start off with something to transform from. So we need a drawing of a person, or maybe you're going to transform your dog, or maybe you're going to start off with an animal and transform it into another animal. There's so many different ways you could do it. Going back to my little guy here, it worked out really well to have kind of an oval shape so I could transform him. So let's do something like that. So I've got my pencil, and I'm going to start off with a kind of an oval shape here and sketch out a head. Okay, like that. Alright, and then coming down from my head, I'll make a a little lollipop kind of a neck there. And I'll make some shoulders. And I'm off to a great start. Like that. You just go with it. Don't worry too much about it at this stage. I'm going to be changing it a lot anyway. Okay, we got a pretty good start on a kid there. So I'm going to give him a little sidekick. I think this time I'm going to use a cat instead of a dog here. So there's my cat's oval-shaped head, and I'll give my cat a little neck too. And of course, even though cats don't normally stand up on two legs like people, we can do that because we're in the art room. We've got all this imagination going for us. All right, so let's do an imaginary, really super light line now. In fact, I'm kind of making these lines darker than I should because I want you to be able to see them on camera. But if there's any way that you can make them a little bit lighter, you're going to be saving yourself a lot of erasing at the end. So that's going to be the nose line. On top of that nose line, we'll stick an eye in over here, like that, and we'll stick another eye in over here. Okay, kind of balance it out. It doesn't even have to be balanced. You know, sometimes you can have one eye bigger than the other, and it looks interesting. We'll do a little nose here, kind of a generic cartoon nose, kind of a cute nose, and then we'll decide, you know, what kind of a mouth do we want. I think I'm just going to give my guy just a little bit of a crooked smile here, like he's imagining, and to kind of go along with that imagining part, we'll make some pupils that are looking up like he's imagining, like, hey, what am I going to be in art and in Halloween? What am I going to dress up like? So we're off to a great start. Let's cut away a little bit of his thickness here, and I'll just kind of erase that, make it flat, a little bit flatter across the side of his face, so we have a little bit more human-like quality there. Okay, right over here we can throw in an ear and throw in another ear. Okay, like that. Okay, hey, we're doing great. I'm going to strengthen up that eye a little, there and there, and I'll give him a little bottom lip too. Okay, so are you a boy or a girl? Let's kind of talk about both. First I'll start off with a boy because he's got, you know, just the bangs part of his hair up here, and I'll make some kind of triangular choppy shapes around here like that, and since his hair's flowing that way, maybe I'll make a part in his hair and make his make the part of it come down like that a little bit, and I could give him a little more thickness on that side to balance things out. I might even throw a little flip out here, you know, something kind of a little nod to Japanimation, kind of anime kind of thing. He has a little flip in his hair, and then a little kind of a flip over that too, as well. Okay, you doing all right? Let's think about eyebrows, because eyebrows add so much to the character. So if he's going to be kind of wistful and wondering, what am I gonna be? Then see, if I make it like that, he looks like he's kind of annoyed about something. So we don't want him to be annoyed yet. I hope not. Maybe he didn't get any pizza. I don't know. So we'll make him kind of lost in thought, like, wow, there's so many costumes. What am I going to be? Okay. It's fun to make arms that are crossed. You know, if you make your arms look like that, you can cross your arms. And so I think I'm going to do that. It's kind of an easy way to make him kind of look like he's standing there. So I'm gonna bring his elbow down and his arm up, and I'll just end it at his wrist and come down like that. Like that. And then over here, I'll come around and I'll make his other elbow tucked underneath his first elbow. And then all I have to do is show the little indication of a hand. like that. It looks like, what am I gonna be? And we'll put in some sleeves. Okay. So let's get back to this boy and girl idea. If I'm going to be a girl, no problem. Later on, when I start adding more details, just so it appears more feminine, I'll add some extra eyelashes and things. But all I would have to do to make it a girl is come down here and show a girl longer hairstyle, or he could just be a guy with long hair. I don't know, but that's really a good girl look right there. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that because I'm going to stick with the boy thing. But you girls out there, don't get mad at me. We're going back to being a boy. Okay, let's go down here to our cat, and we'll make a muzzle on our cat. You know what the muzzle is? That's that part that kind of sticks out. We'll do the muzzle part. We'll do a little triangular shaped nose. And I think I'm just going to make him like he's happy about something. So this is kind of a neat cartoon way to just do these little happy eyes here. And I'll draw a little mouth in there. I think his head's a little too round, so I'm going to carve away some of that. Like that. Yeah, that's better. And since we drew pretty light, it should be, we hope, easy to get rid of all of our little indication lines here. And okay, here's my cat ear and my other cat ear, and I think I'll give my cat a little proper hairdo and some eyelashes. A little too much mouth on my cat, a little too much, sorry about that. That's better. Okay, and it would kind of be funny for him to be doing the same pose as his master. So let's bring his arms up too. So he's kind of trying to keep up with his master there. He wants to do everything just like his master. Okay. So hey, that is looking pretty good. I could have thrown some other things in my beginning one. I had, of course, that hand going out, and that gave me a chance to show the mad scientist formula, but this guy's a little bit different. So let's go back and add some other things. A shine in his eye, indicate that with a little oval, and I might just cut away a little bit of the bottom of the eye so it looks like his cheeks are rising up a little, and he's got kind of an expression. Put a little design in his ear and a collar. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead of you a bit and outline the character in with the black marker. If you don't have a black marker, use a crayon or use whatever you got around the house here. So here we go. I'm going to line my character in. Okay, so here we are. We're all lined in with drawing number 1, and I think now I'm going to erase a lot of my starting lines. You might have noticed I kept switching black markers. Yes, even at my house, it's hard to find a black marker that works. Nothing more frustrating than not being able to find a good black marker. It's the color that everybody uses, and it's the one that wears out the quickest. Okay, very good. All right, so at this point I'm going to move on to my coloring part of my first character. So here we go again. Okay, that's a pretty good starting point for our first drawing. Time to start thinking about what our little guy here is going to become and what he's going to be for Halloween. So I'm sure you've been thinking about it while you've been watching the video and drawing this first character. So time to get that second piece of paper that we talked about, this copying machine paper, and once I set it on top, you'll notice that I can really pretty much see through to the image that I have underneath there, our little guy. So that's what I'm going to use as my guide. So I know what I'm going to be. I think I'm going to go in kind of a Batman guy, kind of a Batman costume, maybe even Artman. I could do that, but I'm going to shoot for his eyes first. So I'm going to sketch in where his eyes are going to go. I want him to line up. It makes it so much more fun to look at when you're all in your two-way version, the transforming version. So I can always go back and see. Let's see, did I hit those eyes pretty well? Yeah, because everybody's going to be looking at those eyes. And I'm just going to copy his nose over again that I did. Since he's going to be Batman here, I think I'm going to trim his head down just a little bit on each side. Let's see where yeah, there we go. Batman's not going to have ears, at least not on the side of his head. He's going to have these ears on his costume. So can you see that? Now there's where my old hairdo was, and that looks pretty good. So I'm going to come across here. So you might be turning into a mummy. That would be kind of an easy way to go. If you want to just be a mummy, just draw the whole thing in wrappings again. And with my first little guy here, I just kind of turned him green. I traced him right over again and kind of turned him green to kind of give him that kind of a Frankenstein or zombie kind of look. And you notice that I put some sharp teeth in his mouth and changed his eyes into those kind of weird looking zombie eyes and stuff, with the stitches and all kinds of other neat little details. So back to our Batman kind of character here. Keep flipping back, and I think that's where I'm going to end his or her costume there. Alright. I'm going to work that down into his body like that. That's not very even there, Mr. Shay. Come on. And that's the way we'll do it. I'm just making these ideas up as I go. That's where that's what we artists do. That's how the whole thing develops. I'm going to make him a little more determined this time, though. I think his mouth has gotten a little bigger. He's a little more of a determined guy here. He's not quite as happy-go-lucky as he was when he was a normal guy here. So let's sketch in the bottom of his chin like that. Okay, looking good. And then down here, his body, we'll keep that mostly the same. I hope you can see through your paper. I can here. Whoops, I traced the shadow. Don't want to do that. So, and I think I'll put some details into Batman's suit here. You know, he's got those eyebrows that are kind of he's really gritting his teeth. He really means business. You don't mess with Batman. And I'll give him a little gap in his costume. I'll come down here. Okay. Yeah, looking good. I'm just going to flip back and forth and see how we're doing. His arm is right here, but I think just to kind of make the Batman a little more dramatic, I'm going to add a Batman glove. I'll make that part into a glove there. And yep, and then over here where that arm comes around, I'll show the top of a glove. I'll probably add some more details to that in a moment. Don't know if I can see the symbol on his chest or not. I suppose we could do something like that, okay, yeah, that's going to be like the symbol on his chest. And wow, hey, just for fun, we could do a cape kind of a thing, oh, that would be great. So I'm going to add his cape is swirling back off of his shoulders, and here it is. It's kind of, it's got those bat indentations in it. It's kind of swirling around his shoulders here. Oh, that's great. That's really great. And then, oh, I never want to give up being an artist, I don't think. So that's all going to be terrific. Over here, let's figure out what happens to the pet cat. Should he could be Robin, he could be like the sidekick, or I could turn him into a bat guy too. That might be fun. I'm going to make him a little bat guy too, so I know how much head I've got to work with. Let's just turn him into a bat cat. Da-na-na-na, bat cat. Here he is. And I'll arrange his head there. And is he still happy-go-lucky? No, I guess not. He's a little more, well, he's still happy. I'm changing his eyes around just a bit there, though. And then we'll make that part into his costume. You can see a little bit of his nose sticking out. I think he's a little more like his master. He means business. And then we can just go ahead and give him the same treatment. And he's got his costume too, just like Batman does. Okay. And I don't think I'll show a cape for him. Alright, let's see. What else could we do to change up this second drawing? I know, we could go outside. We'll just show the contour of some dark buildings here in the background. Batman is out. He's out on a top of a building on a skyscraper, or maybe he's just waiting for his bat signal so he can spring into action here. Well, that looks pretty good. And then how about let's do a bat signal. Commissioner Gordon is signaling him to get into action, Batman. Okay. Wow, that's great. Okay, so once again then, I'm going to go into my fast motion mode and line him in. Okay, hey, that's a pretty good line version of what we've done. I didn't think it was quite fair not to give our little friend a cape here. He needs his cape. We'll hurt his feelings. And I've got some buildings and things that we threw in at the end just to kind of be a little more interesting, and some windows in our buildings. So at this point then, I think I will clean things up a little bit with my eraser. And here we are. I went ahead and colored him in. Used all the bright colors that I could. Wow, I think we're really in good shape to proceed on to the next step. So, okay, we've run out of time in our first segment, but don't worry. There's lots more to come in part 2 of Halloween Transformers. So get over there, click on that episode, and we'll finish it up. See you there at part 2 of Halloween Transformers.